There we go. Greetings, everyone. My name is, I go by the name of Kwame Reggie. Kwame was the name that was given to me during my sojourn trip to Ghana back in October of last year. And today's date is December 4th, and the time is 7:08. Man, I'm so excited to do this. Before I introduce our guest speaker for this evening, let me just briefly just talk a little bit about our wellness platform that we have and what the mission is. Our mission is creating a safe space for wellness and power your health. Creating safe space simply emphasizes the importance of a welcoming and supportive atmosphere, while empower your health conveys the goal of encouraging everyone in the group to actively engage in their own health management. And the one thing that I emphasize is that it's okay to go see your doctor, but you are with yourself 24/7. And because you're with yourself 24/7, it is your duty that if you detect something is wrong, please contact your doctor. My philosophy is that we have to nurture ourselves in a loving, supportive, and caring way. We are here to help each other improve our overall health. Now, our guest speaker is Teresa. She's one of our value members within the wellness family, and recently she shared an insightful post titled "When Clutter is More Than Clutter," following the announcement of our 21-day declutter challenge. I did post a link to her article in the chat, so you can find the link for that. If you don't see it, I will repost it again. Her unique perspective not only resonated deeply with me, but it also inspired the foundation of our current declutter program. And what I did was I shared her posts with our wellness community, encouraging everyone to read it when they have the opportunity. So I just wanted to give you that backdrop because this is the story of how Teresa's ideas have shaped our journey and led us to where we're at today. And so tonight's topic is decluttering life, a personal journey of emotional healing, marriage and marriage and renewal. And I'm going to read her bio right quick. Teresa Buxton is a licensed clinical social worker and the owner of Encouragement Counseling LLC, a virtual therapy practice based in New Jersey. She is also the creator of the Mindful Living Community, a non-judgmental and supportive space where you can grow in your mindfulness practice together with those who desire to cultivate internal peace and present awareness in their lives. Although Teresa has many years of counseling experience and countless professional certifications, she touts the following scripture as her weightiest credential. I thank Christ Jesus our Lord, who has given me strength to do his work. He considered me trustworthy and appointed me to serve. Teresa is married with two adult children and has a grandson whom she credits with teaching her the meaning of unconditional love. Please join me in welcoming our beautiful sister, Sister Teresa Buxton.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah.
It
I,
just it feels good. Welcome our beautiful sister.
yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you, I've been excited all week to do this interview, and I just want to give you your just due
Mm,
because of the insightful piece that you wrote, and it really deeply, like I said, deeply inspired me. And I was like, wow, we have to find a way to be able to spread her wisdom about this very important subject matter. And so, with that said, I noticed that in reading your post that you touched on a number of different themes. And so, one of the first themes I want to touch on is regarding decluttering and emotional insights.
Mm,
And my first question to you is, can you describe the initial feelings you experienced when you first began decluttering and how your understanding of physical clutter evolved over time?
okay. I am going to answer that question.
Yeah.
But before I do, I just want to share
Yes.
that I'm not coming as a um, decluttering expert or anything like that. I belong to another community, a journaling community where I met Alfreda, and we have done uh, decluttering challenges before. And so, being part of that community and being like the mental health professional in that community, I, wrote an article on decluttering. And when I did, I reflected, this article or blog is just me reflecting on my personal story. So that's why I'm here to share my personal story. I'm not an expert, and I just want to say that in this area. I just want to say that.
Yes.
So,
Point taken.
you said what was the emotional? Say that.
So
Can you?
yeah, so sure, yeah. So let me remember now. Can you describe the initial feelings you experienced when you first began decluttering and how your understanding of physical clutter evolved over time?
Right. It definitely did evolve over time. It was when I was writing this blog, actually, that and reflecting, that I kind of came into a lot of realizations about decluttering. But when I first started decluttering, like the blog said, back in 2019, I think,
Yeah,
when I wanted I wanted growth, I wanted change. I was feeling stagnant. And so I've been in church all my life. I'm in the field. So, you know, personal growth and spiritual growth, that's always been a part of me. Okay. But it was something that I wanted more. So I reached out to someone, really for therapy. But she was like, you really don't need a therapy, you need a coach. And so she was giving me all kind of assignments,
mm,
to help me grow. But I just needed to declutter. And um it just felt good. It felt good. Um it was something driving me on the inside. And
mm,
what I've learned is even that desire to declutter was a reflection of me wanting to grow and to become unstuck, right? So um that was this physical manifestation of what was going on with me spiritually. I just wanted to be in a better place. And so um I just wanted my environment. I was trying to bring the outside to get the outside and the inside to match, which is something that my now coach says all the time. The inside and the
yeah,
outside
that's
got to match. Sorry, I'm
yes.
probably going on a little too much.
No, no, I appreciate
Mhm.
your response, and I'm just very giddy on the inside because I'm reflecting on a lot of things that you just said, and it leads me to my next question, to
Mm.
continue to flow. In what ways did decluttering your physical space lead to emotional revelations and healing within your family?
Mm.
I know, right? That's what I said. I came up with that question.
I was thinking about the dates when things, um, because I did refer to two specific personal incidents in the article. Um, and I think so. I don't, well, let me say, I'll just share.
Right.
Okay. Um, Back in 2016, I always say that back in 20,
16.
life was rough. So at that time, um, that was the beginning of a rocky period in my marriage. I've been married. My husband and I, we're in our 35th year of marriage.
Wow.
So we've had,
That's
thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So there has been um, times of bliss and times of not. And that was one of those times. And so I don't I don't remember if so I think we were in a rocky period. We ended up going to marriage counseling through our church. Um and so I and we had worked through things. I'm not sure if we were still in counseling. It was not long, a few months. Um but I looked at I was cleaning. I don't even know if I was cleaning, honestly. I might have been laying in the bed looking up and saw the ceiling fan. And it, had about an inch of dust on it. Cause we weren't, you know, he is the big cleaner in the house. And God spoke to me and he said, you know, just like that dust is laying on that fan, that's what you allow to happen to your marriage.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question because I know you touched on a number of different themes
Mm-hmm.
within your article,
Mm-hmm.
especially dealing with the role of faith and psychological impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because my next question was going to be just that because you mentioned God as the wise voice in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and how has this voice guided you in
Mm.
in your decluttering journey?
Mm. So, you know, I can't say it, but the only way I know how to say it. Like his voice guides me in everything.
Hmm.
Um, and it'll be just like that. I'm just laying there and I see something and he speaks. I can't explain it, but I hear this voice. I have this impression, right? Um, that's what happened with your marriage or this revelation. It just amplifies, I'll say. You just let it just get old, stale, dusty, right? So that means I was not paying any attention to it at all.
Mm.
And I noticed that my husband, he's very clean and organized. So, as I'm on here talking about clutter, right? I have folded clothes. I'm transparent too. I got all
Right.
these clothes that I folded and that I need to put up that's on my couch. But anyway, I noticed that he wasn't cleaning as much. So that was to me a reflection too of what was going on. Like
Mm.
what mattered wasn't mattering anymore. He wasn't caring for it like he used to. And
Mm.
so our environment was reflecting what was going on the inside.
That's heavy. That's heavy. thank you for that insight.
Mm.
And continuing along those lines, you mentioned a young lady by the name of Mia Daniels, and I didn't realize that decluttering declutter was like such a big topic,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
um, and so according to Mia Daniels' blog, she says clutter can have psychological effects. How have you experienced these effects personally, if at all? And I know you started to describe some of those psychological effects.
Mm-hmm. Well, for um, clutter is overwhelming. Okay. The article that I did go back and look over because anytime I do something, I can speak from my own personal experience, but I love
Absolutely.
to have somebody who has done research and all that. Um, but it can feel overwhelming and out of control
Mm,
when there's clutter. Um, and I'm gonna, my daughter, she's just as transparent, my oldest daughter.
hmm
Um, and I'll share for her. I'll use her as an example. In my opinion, she could be a professional organizer.
mm,
Because she just organizes so well. I'll walk into her room and she'll say, you talking about declutter. I gotta get rid of some stuff I gotta do. And it looks minimal to me. But she says that it's just it makes her feel like there's things that are out of order, things that are undone. So even though it looks neat, but if she knows that there's papers or she has clothes that she feels like she needs to get rid of, it's a underlying anxiety.
mm.
And I can get that. I get that.
Yeah, and again, you share some good insights,
Mm,
and that's why like when we launched our 21-day declutter program, one of the things that we stress to emphasize, because it is a overwhelming task, is that you at least um, designate 15 minutes a day, right? And if you choose to go beyond the 15 minutes, then that's on you. But again, because it is an overwhelming thing, we said, hey, just commit to 15 minutes. And that's the,
mm,
because that's the, get you into a flow, a rhythm, and to get your, momentum going. And
mm-hmm.
I appreciate you sharing your perspective on that. And because I never heard of Mia Daniels before until you mentioned her in your in your article, and she has a lot of
A lot.
tons of stuff, and I found myself just going down that rabbit hole, and I'm like reading everything and watching all the videos on YouTube. I'm like, wow, this is very deep here. With that said,
Well, before you say
yeah,
that,
yeah,
let me
good,
say
sure.
I I appreciate that because I didn't go down that rabbit hole. I just used that bit of information to, you know, uh back up what I was saying.
Right, right.
And when I shared the blog, I wanted to make a contribution because I feel like the people in the group are so dope.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
Thank
okay, this is
you.
something that I can share, you know.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting your response.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
I didn't know it would have that kind of impact. And that
Hmm.
blessed me. And that made me, um, dig deeper as well. So I just wanted to share that and
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
And you just reminded me that our 21 day declutter program is based on your article, is based on your blog post. So yeah, so thank you for that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
So I know there was another theme that you touched on, and you touched on it just briefly within your article, and that was about marriage and relationship dynamics.
Hmm.
And maybe you addressed this already, but I'll ask the question. How did the realization that clutter in your home reflected the state of your marriage come about, and what steps did you take to address both?
Hmm.
And I know you started to touch along the lines of that a little bit.
Well, clutter is, if we just in the simplest sense, it's
Yes, it is.
a lot of stuff piled up that we haven't addressed.
Mm,
And that's what, you know, I realized that there was a lot of stuff piled up that we hadn't dealt with, that was swept under the rug. Um, yeah, it was, there's layers, you know? And
hmm
so I think, how some people say, all right, when you clutter or clear out, you look at what you have. Are you going to keep this? Are you going to throw it out? Are you going to put it? And that's really what we had to do. Like, okay, what are we doing here? Um, is this working? Do we need to throw this out, or maybe we need to keep this, or we holding on to something that we need to let go of? Um, and this is just coming up out of me right now, but
mm,
again, as I'm talking, um, things are coming up, and this is the correlation that I'm making to clutter. It's yeah, it's wild.
thank you. Appreciate that. What role did counseling play in helping you and your husband see beyond the seeing beyond the physical clutter and improve your relationship?
Hmm. Well,
Now, if I'm getting too personal, just let me know.
no.
But go, yeah.
Well, we're not getting into any. We can talk
Yeah.
about the subject
Okay.
without
Yeah.
getting into any
Hmm.
details, but
Right. Okay.
um, so being a therapist myself, I
Hmm.
know that, and then even sitting here with you interviewing me and asking me questions as I'm talking, I'm processing and things are surfacing.
Right.
And so having, I mean, this might help somebody, even though we're talking about decluttering, just having someone objective help you identify um, some things, uh, some clutter that you didn't know existed, or help bring out the blocks just by you talking and you
Mm.
processing and thinking as you're talking. These things came up, so it was helpful. And one of the things I'll say is that it was a very, my husband, he didn't. So I've been in church forever, not my husband. Okay. So when we were going to counseling, he didn't want to deal with anybody in the church.
Hmm.
Um, but then he saw what the prices were. So he was like, all right, we can go. Um, but they were warm and non-judgmental, just like your your space is warm and non-judgmental. So just having that 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 space. Um, yeah. And
Thank
I
you.
will say,
Yeah.
I'm you're doing it together. This is community, and this there's power in community. Let me just say that.
Yes.
Um, and so being able to do this together, I think decluttering should stay on the challenge always because
Are you
it's
referring to our decluttering challenge within the
correct.
group? Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I love the 15-minute set a timer. Please
Yes.
set a timer because I
Yeah.
got started and I missed the appointment because it just feels so good. You have a sense of accomplishment. That's the emotional connection too. If you're um you kind of judge yourself, right? That I don't have it together. What's wrong with me? I'm slipping. I got all this stuff piled up. Um, so yeah,
So what I'm going to do
cut
is
myself
if
off.
anyone is interested in um, receiving a copy of our 21 declutter program, just drop your email address in the chat and just state that you would like to have a copy of our 21-day declutter program, and I'll make sure you get a copy of that. All right. Now you mentioned earlier, right, about the dusty ceiling fan, and I was like, wow, that was heavy when I read your post because you mentioned a significant moment involving this fan, the dusty ceiling fan. How did that analogy help you in understanding and addressing the issues in your marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you
No,
said,
I
"Oh,
mean
Reggie."
it's awareness is such a big part of things because we can get be on autopilot. We can just take things for granted, and then we can look around and it's it's an inch of dust on the ceiling fan, and we can while that's a ceiling fan, we can do that with things that are um I mean that's important because
Right, right,
what that's probably why we think we got allergies but don't, you just got a dust. But anyway, um when you're aware, then you got a choice. You can continue to ignore it or you can address it. And I would say um it's probably something here that everybody on this call needs to uh address or declutter, whether it's spiritual, mental, or just some real physical decluttering because we're having this conversation.
right. So
Uh-oh,
you,
are you
it, it-
freezing?
no, no, no,
Okay.
I'm probably just leaning back a little bit,
Oh.
but I know, like I said, you touched on a number of different themes within your article. I know one you touched on personal growth and renewal,
Mm-hmm.
and so can you share more about the self-led decluttering journaling challenge you began personally in 2021 and what prompted you to start this challenge?
Well, I mentioned that I'm part of a community that has done challenges.
Hmm.
So I think I don't know if as I was reading this, I'm wondering if it was part of a dec- decluttering challenge in that group. And that's a whole it's a different different thing because
Got you.
we do talk about decluttering, your mind, your body, your space, and all the wonderful things that can happen when you declutter. Like, I was looking for something and I was probably here at my desk on the phone, um, needed my medical card, tucked it in there, and I couldn't find my medical card. But then when I was, have you done that before? You looking for one thing and you found something else.
Oh yeah.
When you declutter, you find things.
Yes.
But um, so it's again, I'm going back to um when I first started decluttering, and it
Hmm.
was just the unction on the inside of me that wanted to do it. I just had to have it clean. Your I just had to start decluttering to clean out. Um, and I think that's what happened again in 20, 2020, 2021.
Hmm.
Right. It was at the same time
Time. Yeah.
that, my daughter was expecting.
Mm. But that's we're gonna touch on that next right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, how did how can I put this? How, because I want to be, very respectful. How did the process of decluttering affect your relationship with your youngest daughter and her experience with therapy?
And I think that it happened simultaneously. And I, okay. So I was decluttering. Said, start with the family room closet, right? The
Hmm.
closet in our family room. And then at the same time, around the same time, my daughter said she wanted us to go to therapy with her, my husband and I,
Hmm.
because there was some things she wanted to address.
Right.
I have two daughters. I had already been through it with my oldest daughter.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go." So I had anxiety around it. I'm like, "Well, everything's been good. What could be the problem? What do
Right.
we need to go?" But she was like, she wanted to clear some things up before she brought her son into the world. I said,
Mm.
okay. I thought about the ceiling fan and I said, wow, here it is again, where God has me cleaning up the family room, right? Family
Hmm.
and the closet. So we getting ready to go to therapy and we gonna like declutter. Here we are as a family going to therapy to clean up some stuff. And so it was just it just opened me up. It just
Mm.
opened me up um to be present in therapy and to hear what she had to say, and to it was something that needed to be done. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. Um, this is bringing up something else
Hmm.
that I'll share. My oldest daughter and I, um, around 2016, same time I was going through with the marriage, me and her, we were kind of bumping heads. And so it was a rough period, but God healed that and brought us through that. And it was really me humbling myself,
Mm.
softening my heart, being open to hearing from my adult children share
Mm.
things with me. Um, just being honest with, I guess, things where they felt I had fallen short or could have. And it's just been a blessing. And so I'm sharing that too to encourage, I don't know, somebody might be on here with that situation.
Hmm.
Um, so um, decluttering on every level is uh powerful.
Man, I really appreciate you sharing your personal insight, and I love how you talked about or shared how you humbled yourself, in listening to your children's concerns. And wow, that's very humbling right there. Again, thank you for sharing that. And so I, another theme you touched on in your article was regarding the ongoing strategies and reflections.
Mm.
And so what methods or strategies do you use for decluttering, and have you found any particular technique to be most effective? And I say that because I I use a method called the four box method, right? And
Mm.
that's I have four different boxes where one is says keep, the other says donate, and the other box is trash, and the other one says relocate.
Mm.
And before I got into this declutter space, I didn't know anything that there was different methods to decluttering. I just thought you just select the area and you just start going to town. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
but that but this is the one method that I use personally. So I'm interested to hear, you know, your perspective on it.
Mhm.
Yeah. You,
Well,
you want me to repeat the question or you good?
no, I know
Okay.
the. So I've used that method when it's come to, well, keep, donate, maybe thinking about, and I end up with a lot of thinking about. Oh goodness, I don't want to. My battery,
Oh, you
this
got your you
it
have
it it
you have your
came
plug,
out.
your
It
charger?
came
Oh,
out.
okay. Got you.
Yeah, it came out when I was messing around with the speaker. But
Oh, okay.
okay. Um. So I'm coming from the perspective of people who where it seems like a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
where it might be feel overwhelming,
Right.
and the because you could get off come from this conversation and it's like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, what about this, and you might clutter might just seem to be everywhere, you
Mm-hmm.
know. um but I go by the um if you've heard the comment, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
So even though it's overwhelming, do it in bite, might seem overwhelming. Just start and do it in bite size pieces. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I like your 15 minutes a day. It doesn't seem like a whole lot. You can find 15 minutes to get started.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Appreciate that.
there's another quote that, yeah, I do love quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how we say all or nothing, and that's the problem. Some people it's a lot, and you feel like you got to get it all done at once,
Mm,
and because it seems like too much, you don't do anything. So
mm,
it's not all or nothing, it's all or something. So just do something, just start.
right. Yes, I
Just
agree.
start.
Just
And
start.
use your method. What is it? Keep, donate trash,
Trash and relocate.
relocate.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the marriage. I was
Yeah.
thinking about I was like, oh, relocate. That might have to be an option.
Shit, yeah. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Thank you for that. So how do you maintain it? Because this is important for me right here because I find that once you declutter your space, right, how do you keep it clean? So my question is, how do you maintain a decluttered space both physically and emotionally, given that it's an ongoing process?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'll tell you, spiritually and mentally, spiritually, um, you know, I pray, I meditate, and I release. Um, in another community I'm in, there's a nightly release. Um, so just to get you in the mindset of releasing the stress of the day, releasing offense, releasing things that bother you, you know, I come in and at night cast my care. So it's part of a routine to release emotionally and
Hmm.
spiritually.
Mm.
Physically, I just have to do it every day. I can't, like, a lot of people, they can't go to bed with a dish in the sink or something like that. I can't. My workspace, because my clutter honestly is paperwork,
Right.
books, and because I love to learn and I love to grow, so I have a lot of resources.
Right.
Um, but just to do it often and make it a routine, number one. And number two, maintaining, um, I don't know what else to say, but just to make it a routine. Oh, that's the art. just
Yeah.
to make it, just to make it a routine, incorporate it in part of your day, like you do exercise.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll have to say that voice in my head, um, has helped me because things that I might used to do, um, let me see, for example. Well, for example, I will, I'm telling on myself, okay?
That's all right. We're family.
I'm telling on myself. My clothes. I might have every intention to, um, I would get in the habit of wash my clothes. I'll lay my slacks across the chair,
Hmm.
and I'll be like, I'll just scoop them up and then lay them across the rack instead of hanging them up individually. And then after a while, that'll create clutter. That'll create a mess. But that voice will say, Teresa, it's only going to take 2 minutes. Put it up.
Yes.
Or instead of laying it here, just letting it pile up. Teresa, take the mail, put it in the shredder, just to not allow it to pile up. And it's only going to take you a couple seconds.
That's it.
It's only going to take you a couple seconds. And it can be, I'm just going to get down to the nitty gritty. It's when you get to the end of the roll of the toilet, go get a roll so the next, and put the roll on the whatever, the spool.
Yeah.
Don't just sit. It only takes a minute, but it's little stuff like that that adds up.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
So I
So,
don't think it's nothing profound about that, but
yeah.
It's the little things, really.
Hmm. Thank you. So at this point, I don't have any more questions for you.
Okay.
I would like to open the floor up for any for if anyone has any questions. So, and I did repost the link to your blog post again in the chat. So if there's anyone has any questions, all right. Going once, going twice, going three times.
Well, I appreciate everyone showing up.
Yeah. So
And shit.
I want to personally thank you for sharing your profound journey with us. Your insights into decluttering, like as you stated, you're not an expert, like neither one of us are, but your insights into decluttering as a pathway to emotional healing and personal renewal reminds us that the spaces we inhabit often reflect the stories we carry. And as we part,
Mm.
yeah, and as we part today, may your story inspire others to embark on their own journeys of transformation, finding clarity and connection in the process. And we look forward to seeing how your journey continues to unfold and impact those around you. So I am humbled by your wisdom, and I I thank you from the top of my heart, not the bottom of my heart, for for agreeing to come on the platform and to share your story. Because once I read your blog post, I thought, because the way it inspired me, I was like, wow, uh, it needs to be shared, and hopefully, others, it will impact others in such a way to compel them to take action. And I greatly appreciate you, and I greatly appreciate everyone who joined this joined us today on Zoom. And with that said, I have nothing else. And again, does anyone have any questions before we close out? All right. With that said, Teresa, thank you for your time, and everyone who came on, thank you for your time as well.
No
Thank you.
question. Very,
Yeah.
very informative, Teresa. Very, very, very informative. Now I have to look at the dust on my ceiling fan and get
Yeah.
to work.
And get to work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Reggie, and everyone.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Bye bye.
Mhm.
Bye, everyone.